Yeah, we have guests in the studio, and we also have the plus one. So Teslim and Shubomi. All right, Teslim, your surname is
Teslim Sanni.
Teslim, and you run the ladies football club?
Yes.
Alimosho Bombers?
Yes. Alimosho FC Ladies.
Oh, Alimosho. At least you vary from the angels and queens and Amazons. And I like that ladies thing, and ladies. And okay, so tell us about Alimosho FC Ladies.
Okay, good morning. Thanks for having me here. And Alimosho FC is actually a sports club.
Okay,
so
men and women.
Yes, exactly, and children. So we have all categories of athletes.
Okay,
so we are here for the women's team. Why? Okay. Because I'm here with Shubomi, but generally Alimosho is Alimosho Sports Club.
Fantastic.
Where we have Alimosho FC for the men, and we have Alimosho FC ladies for the women. Then we have a community program for children between the ages of 4 to 14.
Okay.
Where they can just start football at an early age, learn all the basic life skills that football can give you, and maybe just move on to play for the elite team.
Okay. Yeah. How long have you been running Alimosho FC?
Oh, it's been on for 5 years.
Okay.
5 years. So 2018.
Okay, but what's your genesis? Where did your love of football come from? What led you? What led you to?
Okay, for me personally, I used to work in tech. I used to work with in marketing.
Okay,
and I had this passion for football. I saw how football can actually influence the whole generation, and it led me to at that time create a scouting app. There was this internet boom then. Everybody was creating stuff. Everybody was trying to disrupt every other industry with tech. And I said, we could actually disrupt the sporting industry with a scouting app where a talent from the grassroots can be seen overseas without having to travel overseas. And doing that for a year led me to also see the rots in the Nigerian football system. I saw that the ages were not right. Academies were not run properly, clubs were not run properly, and it just created a whole lot of problems for me running that platform. And that's brought me back to say, okay, if this is not done right, there's a window of opportunity there where we could actually bring, and a couple of guys on my team said we could also actually bring our skills, our knowledge, and also learn more, and improve the whole system. I come from a very big community, which is Alimosho. It's the biggest local government.
Because I was going to ask you, why Alimosho?
Yes, it's the biggest local government and local population with a lot of people, diverse ethnicities, and we love football. We've always been involved with football. We had pick-up games every time, and it was tiring when you have a competition and this one is bearing different kind of names, maybe their father's names or something. I said, Alimosho is this big, but we don't have a football club.
A club that represents
us. It was scary when we actually wanted to start that. We were scared of it. But when we now had to look at it, the biggest clubs out there, the Liverpools, the Barcelonas, they all bear the names of community, and that's what drives them.
They're all community clubs.
Yes, that's what actually drives them. So you look at the UK too, you have all the Fulhams, all the Tottenhams, they're all community based. In Nigeria today, we just hear different names and people are not actually repping their communities. And we said, okay, we can actually do this. No matter how small we start, no matter how long it's going to take us, it's about the passion, it's about what we can actually do to affect the lives of the youngsters in the community. Let them have something that they can dream towards. Let them see that, okay, I'm a football player. I can actually represent my community at any level. So that's what.
Regardless of gender.
Yes, exactly.
As evinced by Shubomi that's come along.
Definitely. Amazingly, when we started, we even actually started with a female team. Why? Because we saw that as a problem too. There's a lot of guys playing football, but we started out with the female team, and amazingly also is the female team that's given us a lot of success at different levels, and even ensured that we represented Nigeria last year in Qatar at the Red Bull Global Finals in Qatar. So really? we've always been at the forefront of pushing female football, and also the guys too, because there's a lot of boys playing football out there.
Talk to me about the funding Yeah?
Okay.
And of course, I also want you to delve into the rot that you say Nigerian football is, because that needs a bit of explaining. Because I also ran into somebody at the stadium yesterday who spoke about the rot that he's experienced in Nigerian football. I'll come later to what he spoke about. But I just want you to share the experience. Is it the community that largely funds the Alimosho team that you talked about, or are you pooling resources together with these friends that you earlier mentioned?
Okay, so good one. So when we started, we knew we had something big in our hands, and because it's privately run, we had to do that ourselves. So we had to pull resources together from our pockets. Is when people hear Alimosho, they probably think it's a government thing, you know. They probably think it's run by the local government, but no, it's totally privately funded. And as founders, we started out by putting these resources together. But football is extremely big, you know, putting it, registering the players of the team for leagues and stuff like that. We knew we had to do this for ourselves. For 5 years, we've been doing this by ourselves. And yes, here and there we get a couple of sponsorship when we are playing in tournaments. You know, we try to reach out to corporate bodies and try to align our goals with their marketing goals. You know, if it's front of shirt sponsorship, if it's sleeves, if it's anything, we just try to make ourselves attractive enough for sponsors to look at us and say, okay, let's give these guys our advertising budget, you know, to push our brand. But on the other side, talking about the rot in the Nigerian football system, it all goes down to...
Before you get to the rot,
Okay.
The players that you have, do you pay them a salary? You know, what's the form of remuneration that they
so
get?
for instance, now or for now, they're not professional players because we don't play in any professional league currently. When we started out, we played in a private league just to test the waters. So we played in a league called the Social League. You know, it's a private league that's put together some of the best football clubs or academies in Lagos. Let me not say Nigeria. Yes, we did have a team from Ogun State participate last season. But it was privately. It was not the NLO. It was not the NNL. It wasn't anything on the pyramid, you know. But we used that for 3 years to test the waters, to push out the players, to discover new ones. So that's how it started with us. So we've, in terms of funding and everything, like you said, it's just been. So in terms of player remuneration, we focus more on ensuring that their welfare is fine and they have bonuses when they play for the team. But we can't actually say that's a salary, you know, because they are not playing anything professional. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the rot that you mentioned.
Yeah, okay, so when we talk about rot, I'm not one to always push that on the government, you know, because at the end of the day, I also see the industry as lacking in intellectualism, you know. So football is a very big industry. In fact, when I went into football or sports generally, I saw it as that industry that accommodated every level of professional. So you could be a lawyer and still work in sports. You could be a doctor and a sports medicine. You could be a graphic designer and still work in sports. So it's that industry that accommodated every kind of professional. And that's what actually made me love the game. That's, I'm a marketer and I could work in sports. And I found out that in that industry, there are lots of people who are not professionals handling football clubs. You know, so you have a coach who's supposed to have that business of being a coach, trying to be a team manager, you know, being the accountant of the club, being everything. He's not marketing the club well, doesn't know anything about player representation, but he's doing all that. You know, so there's always that fundamental lack of professionalism in everything, because doing this for 5 years, I realized that I couldn't do it alone. I had a marketing background. I was good at what I did. I was very good at PR. I was doing that well, but I realized that, I needed a coach that could do this. I couldn't step onto the pitch and start coaching, so I needed to recruit a coach. I realized that I needed admin personnel, yes, and I needed to use them. I realized that I needed media guys. So this rot that we find in the Nigerian system, we find out that a lot of clubs are not putting the right people in the right places. So these days we hear about sports in Lagos, we hear about how good they are doing, how well they are doing, the noise they're making on social media. I always point that success, or the bit of success they are getting now, to the fact that this is a company that's probably the founders have run businesses, real businesses, and we're doing well with that, and they're trying to transfer that to football. But in football, we don't run it like a business. We just think, so you hear fans. A lot of people talk about fans. I was listening to when the show was running then. A lot of people are talking about fans today, but fans or fandom has to be gained. It takes time. It takes promotion. It takes a connection to the community. It's not something that you just dash out Okadas or jerseys to a group of Agberos and you tell them to come down to the stadium and they start making noise. So that's what we've always seen in the Nigerian football system. And sometimes when they tell me the stadium is filled up or anything, I always ask, is it that these guys bought tickets to the stadium or they just came in for free? So if you tell me they came in for free, I don't see that as you doing anything with your football club. I don't see you selling season tickets. I don't see you selling. So we are still scratching the surface in Nigerian football, if I may say.
This issue about the rot in Nigerian football, which is why I hardly, if there comes a time when I need to celebrate our league, I will, but when the truth needs to be spoken, I think it should be spoken as well, no matter whose ox is gored. I was in a conversation with a club owner in Nigeria yesterday, and it was the owner of Andreza. He spoke about why he left Eket and came to Lagos, left Lagos and went back to Eket as well, gave different reasons. But what he spoke predominantly about was the rot in Nigerian football. How he was approached, for want of a better word, to find a way to gain promotion to the elite division. And he was told that, look, A, B, and C needs to be done for you to gain promotion. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. If I can't gain promotion by virtue of the kind of football that I play on the pitch, then I'm not going to go the other route, to be seen as a top Premier League side. And he decides, look, if I'm going to get relegated every season and each season and struggle, then that's what I will do until I gain success legitimately, and move on to the higher pedestals of Nigerian football. And that was really, and he's a man who's very shy of the media because we've been chasing after this guy for a very long time to come tell the story of how Van Dresser. It's amazing, the kind of money that he's put into the club. He's not just bought like jerseys and boots, which is what you have to do predominantly, but he's bought equipment for the team that can rival any television station in this country. I can tell you that for free. This is a man who legitimately wants to do it the right way, but he's frustrated by the system.
Because I remember last season they had their game streaming live on the internet. If you wanted to watch Van Dresser's game in the NNL because they were in Lagos, they had their game streaming live, but loads of controversies, like you said, took them back.
I just wanted to ask a question because Alimosho is a big community, like you said. It's been on for 5 years. I'm just hearing that for the first time because I actually have a little bit of knowledge about the Alimosho era. I lived there for a bit. So I don't know, what's your process like with recruitment, with information? I've never heard of Alimosho until now because I know Alimosho will probably comprise of Yanokpaja, Igondo, Idimu, Egbeda, Ikotun, even up to Oshodi, if you want to expand it in that front. So how do we know that you exist if you have not come here today? Or how does the Alimosho person, because it's a community-based club, like you said, and if
asking, like the training ground,
how they recruit, how they, stuff like that.
Okay, so that's a good question. The thing is, when we started, because we wanted to actually make it genuinely a community team, being followed by the community. So yes, we did our part in terms of media. We even had a magazine that we published yearly. We had a bulletin that we did, more like a journal that we printed and gave out for free, to all the LCDAs, shared for free. So we did that. That's quite expensive to do, but we are also very active on all social media for God's sake. And I would say probably we are the only club in Nigeria that's very, very active on LinkedIn. You know, that's how active we are on social media. Even the Sporting Lagos that we talk about today is not active on LinkedIn. So I would say that I can brag about that we do all that. You might have not heard about us. Why? Because we don't play in any of the divisional leagues.
No, the reason I say I've not heard, because if I'm in Alimosho and it's a community-based thing, I should have an idea of, because you speak about LinkedIn, you speak about social media.
Yeah.
Alimosho is predominantly with people who are not exactly in that sphere that you speak about.
Exactly.
There's a lot of
true.
I don't want to use these words, but you understand what I'm saying.
You're very correct.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Do you want to say local?
No, I didn't say anything like that. So I'm just saying
But that's what you're
beyond
because
this.
We are camera.
Beyond these elite apps that we use to reach out, because the main people you want to target are in the grassroots.
Yes.
So how do you connect to them? You know.
Yes. So I was coming to that, and the thing is, for 5 years we've run. We have community centers, community programs that we do. So we set up different footballing centers. So we're everywhere in Alimosho where we see that there's a pitch. We go there and create a program.
There's a pitch in Ejigbo, for example.
Yes. So
there's a pitch in Isolo.
Yes.
For example.
So around Ejigbo, there's Diamond Estate where we have a pitch where we create a football program for kids, from the ages of 4 to 14. Okay. So their parents are. We put our coaches out there. We're not just telling our coaches to train the elite teams. So we tell them to go into the communities. We also run programs in schools, because we think or we believe football is for the youth. Who are these athletes that are going to play? It's the youth, it's the young ones. And to target these people, they're in school. You understand? I'm not actually too interested in the big guys, the elite players who are already old, and they come down there, if they see you, they're asking you for money or anything. I'm actually interested in the younger generation, people that needs that platform. So yes, it could be slow because doing on-ground advertising or marketing is extremely expensive, but we've taken that route of, first of all, going to different. So we have like 3 different centers. We have one in Abeson Youth Center. Okay. We had one in Ayobo, which is Alimosho too, and we have another one at Isheri. So these are community centers, and it's not something new. We learned that from all the big clubs out there. Chelsea, Manchester City all have community programs that they use to connect the community.
Let me piggyback on Isoken's very good question. So what are the long-term goals of Alimosho FC? I don't know whether any of you got that, got the pun.
No, but I understand. But I think it's about long-term. I think it's about discovery, more or less. Yes. Yeah.
For now.
So what are the long-term goals of Alimosho FC?
For us, it's to, just like you said, is long-term. The long-term for us is to create a club that actually represents the community at the biggest stage of Nigerian football.
Like an MFN.
Yes.
Basically, like a Sporting Lagos.
Exactly. So, and we know that takes time. That takes a lot of investment. That takes a lot of input. But we know we have to start from somewhere. But in terms of long-term goals, we actually want a club, both male and female, to be able to represent the community at those levels.
Okay. I wanted to just switch over to Shubomi because
exactly
one of the products, one of the long-term goals is developing women's team. And last year she was here after they went for the Neymar Junior, Neymar 5s, if I'm correct.
Where was that?
You were not in the studio. There's pictures.
I didn't say when. So where was the Neymar 5s?
It was in Qatar.
Oh,
it was in Qatar.
Okay.
Yeah, just before the World Cup. I think 6 months before the World Cup last year. So she came through, right? Also went to Nuga last year, remember? I think top scorer, the women's team for University of Lagos, Nuga. Now, there's something you've been doing over a period of time in terms of giving back to the community in which you also grew up, in Ota. And you had a program last week.
Yes.
So let's talk about that program and how the vision of Alimosho Ladies would inspire you to do a lot more and grow international.
Please start with what's your full name?
Okay, I'm Olasubomi Ogundele, and this is a project I run. It's called the Back to Alma Mater project.
It's called the what?
Back to Alma Mater project.
Back to what?
Alma Mater, yeah.
Okay,
yes.
fantastic.
Actually, my team owner's idea, Mr. Teslim, just called me that day. What do you think about going back to your secondary school and speaking to the student on combining sport and academics? Because I myself, I want to do a bit of community service, but I've not been able to figure out how to do that. So when he told me,
what's the name of secondary school?
Igomode Grammar School, Igomode Grammar School.
Okay.
So when he told me, I was like, sure, let's go for it. And we did the first year. It was great, and I sat down. I felt like, why not continue it? Last year I reached out to him. Okay, we plan to make this thing an annual thing. So it's already a year. So let's go back there and do it again.
Just
and
to remind our listeners,
as well.
Just to remind our listeners, what's your story?
My story.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay. I'm passionate about playing football, but
A striker?
no, I'm an attacking midfielder.
Wow.
Yes.
Left, right, 10.
Central, yeah.
Okay, 10. Okay.
Let's just say more of an to this player I can play from each side.
From the wings. Okay.
Yeah, a student of University of Lagos, and
Still a
What do you
student?
study?
yes, education management.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Speaking a little bit about the Nuga games, I was the most valuable player and the highest goal scorer during
Wow.
the tournament, and I'm also the captain of Alimosho FC Ladies.
Okay, did they discover you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I play for the team as well.
Okay.
I'm just always about inspiring the younger generation on combining sport and academics.
When you say younger generation, how old are you?
Like, I mean, I'm young, but the younger ones coming after, people looking up to me.
You know,
Yeah.
the one way in which, you know, I understand what you're trying to do. You have to be a recognized figure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you are in Alimosho, yes?
Yes.
Yes? Because last time you were here, we spoke about your plans. You know, what exactly is it that you want to do with your football career?
Yeah.
You know, do you want to rise above where you are, play for one of the national teams? You know, what exactly is it that you want to accomplish outside of this back to alma mater thing that you're talking about?
It's definitely to get to the highest stage, play at the biggest front. But, it's all about trusting the process. There's a platform. I am in school. I can't drop out of school to achieve all of these things.
Yeah.
So it's a gradual process, sticking to the plans that I have to follow, which is finish up school, and even though at least prepare myself before I get that opportunity.
You can actually combine school and football.
I'm doing that presently, but it's hard to be in Nigeria and playing for a professional team. The system does not allow we student athletes to do that.
Maybe I should ask Mr. Teslim, what's your plan for Shubumi?
Okay, so that's.
Maybe you can articulate better.
Okay, so being a football club, yeah, and being heavily involved in scouting talents, from different communities. So when I actually visited her school, when we scouted her, the school used to play this GT Bank Principal Cup.
Oh, okay.
And I was I was amazed at how active that school was. So we went there and we saw a couple other players there. So interacting with them, scouting them into the team, drafting them into the team, we realized that there's a lot of them who are actually interested in going to school, and some of them who are not interested. After they are done with their secondary school,
You just want to focus on football.
They want to play football. So we have a lot of that too. So we have some of them playing for professional teams currently, and as an athlete too, and excelling at all fronts. She might not be able to say all those platforms she's excelled at. We've won several tournaments locally, and she was also the first time Unilag won the female team. There was a Nuga female football tournament. That was when Unilag won it, and she was excelling there. And, yes, we've had professional teams come up and say, we want this girl. We want to draft her into our team. We need her to start playing. But you and I know that it's really the Nigerian football system, just like she said, doesn't really...
I really like, there's something I picked from her. I love what she said. She said, you have to trust the process.
Exactly.
So that being in the fact that you have to use trust in that sentence means there's a lack of.
Yes.
Because she's very focused on school.
Very focused and a very brilliant student too.
That's not a bad thing.
Yes.
But trusting the process just might cut short
her time
maybe a future Super Falcons player.
So this is it.
Because something needs to give.
Something must give.
Exactly.
She has to have a plan B. She has to have a fallback position.
True. The thing is, for every club that comes on board, you have to be able to tell us a plan or give us a project. Are you going to ensure that this person continues with schooling? That's all you need to tell us. Are you going to support the fact that she's in school and also playing football? It's fine. It works in the US. They're playing professional football and they're in school.
The thing is, I know a couple of players who play in the NPFL who were going to school.
Exactly. So if it's that club that comes around and says, "Oh, we want this player," or we can actually push her to that kind of team.
I will give her the
so
time
maybe Mr. Teslim has not been convinced with the plans that
the Lagos teams. Maybe I don't know if these teams are in Lagos.
They haven't.
But she's schooling in Lagos.
They haven't laid out a plan that.
Do you understand? So if you can lay out a plan, that is what she meant by the process.
One of the biggest pitfalls for any professional, or any amateur, very good amateur youth or wanting to grow to the elite professional level, one of the major pitfalls is adequate representation.
True.
Knowing your rights and what it can accrue to you.
Yes.
Because I think that's part of when people talk about the system, the corruption. I hate to belay that point, but we all know it exists.
Yeah.
It's how we can not necessarily circumvent
Walk through it.
Walk through it. God bless you. Walk through it, and and really hope for the best.
Exactly.
Okay. I will read a few messages. Just a few messages. Let's start out with this one that says, "Good morning to the family, Sports Zone. I want to wish Isoken's dad, Reverend Elvis Agbontyne." Just wasn't correct. Okay. Many more graceful years. You guys need to listen to Isoken's dad dissect the Bible. He's more like a teacher. Great one, Isoken. Benga from Jakonde. We've also got this here that says, "Good morning, Sports Zone. My name is Maxwell from Ojota. Guys, I followed Enyimba FC of Aba from the Super 6 and the Super 8. From what I've seen so far, that team is nothing to write home about.
Oh dear.
From what they are playing right now, they won't go far in the forthcoming season. And on the continent, they always look coachless, confused, and always putting their playing gear in reverse. Some of the players look like farmers and bricklayers and weightlifters. Kudos to Red Monsters and Sporting Lagos, who plays some good football."
I think you're a bit too judgmental.
Farmer, I'm sorry. Who sent that message, Femi?
We're talking
Maxwell.
Maxwell, what do you have against farmers and weightlifters, by the way?
We're talking about a team that won the NPFL title. And for Enyimba, who are participating in this particular tournament, have decided to allow some other players express themselves, to find...
Give them an opportunity.
Yeah, if there's anybody out there that can actually play in the forthcoming season on the continent. So it's Finidi George testing out the waters for these players, and I think that message was a bit too harsh.
Ahead of good money, because even you said it's good money. It's very good money.
Yeah, but we're talking Enyimba. It's not... This is Enyimba. We're talking a team owned by the Abia State government. A governor who's come out to say that, look, money will not be a problem for you guys. So this is... It's for them. Okay. Winning this tournament is not their prerogative. It's not.
That's good money.
No, but I latch onto that. I think I like what Finidi George is doing. Give the team, give other players a run out. You've got a lot ahead of you. So
and from a long season.
It's been a long season as well.
They're still going to recruit. I'm sure.
This is the biggest in terms of prize money.
It's not. There's another one coming for 1 billion.
But it's not here
before
yet now.
Pre-season?
Yeah, pre-season.
Pre-season before the new season.
Yeah. Before the season starts,
Wow, that sounds good. But moments, because I still want us to go back to Chubo. So Chubo, tell us your plans. So what would you like, your dream would be to be a scholar athlete. What you want to do? How do you see that panning out for you?
Yeah, that's my plan, and I don't know, whatever I want to do, I feel I can combine academics with it.
Okay. What year are you in now?
I'm in my third year.
Third year. Yes. And it's a 4-year course?
4-year course.
Okay.
So I know definitely by the time I'm done, something big is going to happen.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Wow.
Oh, you're 19, yeah. That's super cool.
Okay, then. And how about your giving back to the community as well? What are you doing for the younger ones, for the little girls that want to be like Chubomi?
We go to my alma mater, Gomini Grammar School, and we organize seminar for them, invite keynote speakers who are there already to motivate the students. And we also give a scholarship to outstanding students who are participating in sports, not just football only, but other sports.
Did you say you give out scholarship?
Yes.
So how do you find
presently it's just to reach out to people. If it's what you want to do, definitely
because
find
you're
a way
still
to
a
talk
student
about
now?
that. Yes, reach out to people that would support your idea,
Okay.
and the team as well supporting achieving that. So just let them know, okay, this is what I want to do, and when you have people that believe in you or what you believe in, they will definitely come through for you.
Do you have anybody currently running? Are you supporting anybody in school right now?
Yes, we are. Like the last one we did, we supported 4 students. Now we gave scholarship to 10 students, mixed
Based
boys
on
and girls.
That's the next question.
On
Based on
Academics.
sports love.
Academics.
Did you do other sports in school apart from football?
I focus more on football,
Okay,
but that's just for fun.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also give out sport items like football cones, and just to motivate them while training.
Should have seen the look on her face when I asked her age.
Yeah, no, you don't
It's
ask
like,
any
really?
guy
You're gonna
age, really?
you're gonna make me go there?
Yeah, you want me to go there, really?